Hi and welcome to the channel, and today I'm joined by Jamie and we are going to be showing you a showcase of Jamie's Beasts of Chaos army.
Yep, this army was done up, ready for our trip to Warhammer World, our annual pilgrimage up to Nottingham. We just want to play something different, because normally when we go up there, it's normally my Cities of Sigmar with your Stormcast against Mum's Nighthawks.
And last year we did obviously the Horus Heresy up there.
Yep.
Large Horus Heresy game.
But this time, obviously, we did 40k, or Heresy last time, but Sci-Fi last time, and this time we'll go back to AOS. So we wanted to do some different armies.
Yep, so obviously Mel's been busy painting up. She's done it for a little while actually. She just keeps adding to her Sylvaneth army. The original army that she's done is already a video quite a way back in the videos. Go and check them out if you haven't seen that already. We've also been working on an Ogre army, which would be my army.
No,
again,
Ogre.
No, it's still Ogres to me. I'm not into these newfangled words. It's still Imperial Guard for 40k, not Astra Militarum. But anyway, that's another story. But yeah, as I said, so I've been doing an Ogre army, and Jamie's been working on a Beast of Chaos. So let's get into it.
So up first, we thought we'd start with a bit different. We got some Tzaangor bits, and specifically the ones on the discs. So at the front here, we have a Tzaangor Shaman.
Yeah, let's just take a little look at him a minute. He's quite nice. I do like him. Yeah, lovely. Again, undercoated was sort of Wraithbone. Was it Wraithbone undercoat?
Yeah, Wraithbone underneath. Yeah. Very nice light colour to go with the rest of it. But you can't stop with a Tzaangor Shaman. You know, you need a bit of magic. If you're going Tzeentch, you've got to have a little bit of magic in there.
Yeah, definitely.
And up next, we've got some Tzaangor Skyfires to the left. I love these models. The thing with Chaos armies as a whole is they lack ranged firepower in a lot of their armies. So getting some of these just gives that little bit of range in there.
Yeah, again, lots very colourful in that, and you'll sort of see sort of a theme throughout this army, and as we show you. Paints used was mostly Citadel paints, and again, a contrast of paints. And I say use the word contrast. There's been normal contrast paints, and then brought up with normal paints, or paints, and then contrasted to make up the.
And a lot of it was airbrushed.
And a lot of it was airbrushed right at the start. All the base colours and that was all airbrushed.
So most of the flesh is airbrushed.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously picked out some other bits with the normal paints and that.
It just speeds it up.
Oh, massively. Yeah, definitely. What's next then, Jimmy?
So we got the Tzaangor Enlightened on the right. So these are on the discs. So the only reason why I have these models was because they came in a box set with Caradrons, which is another army I played.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then the Beast stuff came out, and they added the Tzaangor bits to it. I thought, oh, spot on then. That makes it worth having. Yeah. But I love these guys. They're just really cool. Just add something a bit different instead of just seeing the same hordes of models day in, day out. It's
I think so.
A little bit of colour to
yeah, exactly. And also, like you said, and when you're playing the game and that, it's all going to give you different rules to play and a different way the army's going to play as well. And again, if your opponent you're playing against, say for myself or Mel with her Sylvaneth, it's something different to think about. It's quite fast movement as well.
Yeah, it definitely brings a lot of speed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to sort of playing against these and that. Again, I've always seen them on the tables, but don't know what they do. So yeah, looking forward to that. So what have we got next then, Jamie?
So up next, obviously we just saw the all the flying stuff with the Tzaangors. Well, we've got to have some basic troops in there. So we've got some basic Tzaangors to the front. Now these are very weird models, sort of like Beastmen mixed with chicken in a weird way.
They are a bit, aren't they?
But I just love the colour for them. And what I like to do, I've checked out some of the stuff, the Shaman, he can almost mutate the enemy models into more Tzaangors. So as those are taking casualties, I can regen them up and bring them some more Tzaangors back. So you're going to be seeing them a lot during the game.
Thanks for telling me that. I'll remember that. Right, it reminds me, take Shaman out first.
But no, I love these guys, just again, to add a bit of colour to it, just to break it up in the army. But they're just really nice models. And so we've got a leader, musician, banner bearer, and the guys on the ends of the front rank are cursed beasts.
Yeah, that was the first model I shown, yeah.
Yeah, but this is the leader now.
Yeah, really nice. Again, the paints and what I've always liked about is how do they pronounce Tzeentch? They did say
Tzeentch.
Tzeentch in it, yeah. Well,
Tzeentch, it does the job.
Yeah, Tzeentch does the job. I'm old school. Anyway, yeah. So what I like about them and that again is that real rich blue and that sort of real bright blue that you use again in 40k. The whole lore of Tzeentch and that's really really cool. Love that.
Again, it's the trickery of it.
Yeah.
So obviously you got the 4 gods. You've got Khorne to be the most bloody, but Tzeentch again. I just love the trickery. That's what I love. Is just that sort of messing around with people.
Yeah. Definitely.
And that really reflects all of the Tzeentch stuff we've shown off so far on the table. Is you really got that sort of all-knowing, omniscient, omnipresent.
What I will say is I do like the base. I know I'm saying you've done the basin, and we've all done on the basin on these, but I do like the basin. What was the reason for going for this style of basin?
So the reason why I went for the sort of Badlandsy, drabby basin is because as they're a herd that goes through a land, like if they went through a forest, they're just going to be ruining the land as it goes through. Just think about how much rampaging they're going to be doing. Yeah. And it's going to leave that sort of...
And almost as the lore of the Beasts of Chaos used to be, and that sort of like that rampaging through that sort of the woods and the savannah, that type of terrain and that. Yeah. So
exactly.
Really,
so
really
you've got
cool.
that, especially with the way that obviously they interact now with ambushing. You really do feel like they have just ambushed that land and now just coming for you from all sides, almost like a Horns of the Buffalo. And going on to that, Horns of the Buffalo.
I was saying, what have we got in the back here then, John? We'll start with the big boy in the back here. Look.
So this is the Wildfire Taurus. Now this is an endless spell, so the next bits we're showing off is the endless spells. So an endless spell is basically a manifestation made real in magical might.
Yeah.
So this was actually the model that made me start this army.
It's a great fire effect on that. I do love the fire effect on that.
I just love that big bull made me think, yeah, I want to do a beast army. I just love the model. It's just so cool. And next we have the Doomblast Dirge Horn.
All right.
So again, you can set that up, and basically it does what it says on the tin. It makes a lot of noise.
The runes have come out quite well on it as well.
Yeah, they're fiery runes on there.
Yeah.
Obviously, you wouldn't want that blowing in your ear.
No, that'll soon wake you up in the morning.
And then we have the Razorwing Flocks. So little scouting birds. So these are actually spells as well. So a wizard can summon these and just play around with the opponent. Makes them think, oh, I've got that coming towards me.
Yeah. Yeah, again, it's sort of different for the game. Sort of adds a little bit of character in that into the game and changes each army up and that with their endless spells that they've got. Obviously, there's generic endless spells that you can use, but okay, quite a lot of the armies now have got their own to sort of fill out.
Apart from Ogres.
We ain't got any. We've got to use generics. So we're sort of now moving on towards more conventional, what I would say conventional Beasts of Chaos then units, Jamie. So what have we got in front of us now?
So we have the Ungor herd in front of us. So at the front we've got a unit of Ungor Raiders, which are my archers. And
just grab a couple of these and have a look.
You've got, again, as I said in the last section, we don't get a lot of ranged combat when it comes to Chaos armies. So again, just a little bit of scouting infantry, just a bit of skirmishing fire.
Yeah, exactly.
And behind those we have some normal Ungors with hand weapons. Again, it's a very basic light infantry, just to do a little bit of a distraction, bit of a screen.
Yeah, also objective holders if you wanted them to use that whilst your other stuff is sort of chopping away.
That's what I mean, little screens and that. And then behind those we have another unit of Ungors, this lot with spears. Now, in the latest book, they've actually allowed me to throw the spears.
Oh, that's cool.
Not very far, but, something's better than nothing.
Yeah, again, for that ranged attack ability.
Exactly.
Yeah, but again, like you said, what's that, 3 units of 10 there? It's still going to be doing something in the rear area.
Especially as I said, now they've reworked the army, you're allowed to ambush with the whole army. So again, these little pockets just popping up around the place. They're just little distraction units.
Yeah, it'd be very useful. So up next then, we've got a bit of a selection here then, Jamie.
Yep, so along the backs we've got 2 units of 10 Gors. These are the rank and file of the Beastmen army. They're really just core units, just to fill out that core slots. And as I said before, the flesh was all airbrushed, and they just do the job.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, the airbrush does help doing bulk work and that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, a lot of the flesh was all the same, so it made sense just do the whole army and get that done.
Yeah, definitely.
But again, so the faction I'm going to be playing is All Herd, which allows me to bring back more models. It's meant to represent this stampeding horde over there. Keep coming. There's thousands of them, as you like say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, really nice. Again, if I remember rightly, the Ungors we've shown previously and these Gors, they were around in Warhammer Fantasy.
Yep, so this army pretty much, apart from the Tzaangors stuff, all of it is Warhammer Fantasy models.
Yeah,
and
apart from the units in the front here.
Apart from the units at the front here as well. But across all of my armies that I played, my 4 armies for AOS, 3 of them are Warhammer Fantasy armies. It's only the Caradrons that's any new army.
So what have we got in front of us here then, James?
So in front of us we have the Warhammer Beast Grave Warband from way back when.
So that's for the Underworlds game, isn't it?
Yeah, from the Underworld. So
which we don't play that, do we?
We don't play that, but these are just beautiful models. I really wanted them. So this is Gashrak Fellhoof is the sorcerer, and these are his despoilers. So we've got a couple of Ungors.
You got some more range shooting here.
Yeah, a couple of Ungors, there's a Bestigor, and the Shaman himself is Gashrak Fellhoof. I just really want him because I wanted that Shaman model, and he got 5 little buddies with him.
Yeah, no, they are really characterful models. I think all the Underworld's factions and that do have some really, really nice models and that with them.
Well, it's nice for games like Warcry as well. Just put different things out, and obviously we play Soulbound. So again, using these models for Soulbound, said with a lot of character, and that's Gashrak himself.
Yeah, that's a nice model.
So in my list I'm taking up, I've got 2 normal Shamans and the Tzaangor Shaman. So I'm going to be using that as one of the Shamans, just again for that little bit of character. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, really, really cool. Like you said, and once we're up there, we can also play Warcry while we're up there, so you've got your Warband already there. That's really, really cool. Yeah, love it. So up next then, Jamie, we've got looks like some command and some slightly heavier troops than normal Gors.
Yeah, we got the Bestigors, the elite of the elite when it comes to the Beastmen. Or sorry, Beasts of Chaos. Sorry, I'm old school. It's got to be Beastmen.
It's got to be Beastmen, yeah.
So these have their despoiler axes, ready to chop some heads off, as you can see by that sergeant who is chopped the head off.
Yeah. He's taking it back for a trophy. Yeah, these are really nice. Really cool. As I said, lovely models. I think originally they were metal, then they went fine cast, and then they were redesigned in plastic. Yeah.
2011.
Was it?
2011 was a lot of these models.
Blimey.
And they still stand the test of time.
I think so. They still stand the test of time today. Yeah. Really nice. Really, really cool. I love the animation in the miniatures.
So again, just that axe swinging down, chopping them up.
And in the gameplay, they're still pretty tough in gameplay, aren't they? For what they are.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said they're as good as what they were in the previous book, but that's because to get the bonuses they had in the last book, you need to rely on your opponent doing something, whereas beforehand you just got it. But they just look cool. That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
The big chopping axes.
Rule of cool is the way to go. Let's start at the back here then, Jamie, with this one here. And this guy, what's that? I reckon he's still metal, so I reckon that used to be the old Beastmen army banner bearer.
Yeah, they had the army standard bearer. Yeah. I got that because they made him when the last book came out as a made-to-order 1 week only model, and I thought, I didn't really like the Beast Lord at the time where he had the 2 axes down by his side. I thought it was a bit of a rubbish model, so I got him to be my Beast Lord.
I'm sure that used to be the special edition army standard bearer for the old Beastmen army. Warhammer Ancients, or Warhammer Ancients, the old Warhammer. I say ancient because it is ancient, but although it is coming back. Okay, up next then, mate.
So we got some Shamans. So this is one of the first Great Bray Shamans. As you can see, a lot of my army stuff has been in 2s. So like 2 units Bestigors, there's 2 of the same Shaman. That's because before the Vanguard box came out, they did a start collecting box, and most of the stuff was online only models, which you got a really good discount. It just filled up most of my army.
Yeah, it's a good idea, isn't it? Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. And the start collecting sets at the time, were quite reasonable, like you said.
They were like 50 quid, and you got 100 quid's worth of models.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's made it even better when they were online only.
This one here.
So this is the latest addition to the army. He came out with the latest book this year, and it's the new Beast Lord model.
Yeah, I like this model. It's really cool.
So, again, although I like the metal guy I was using as the Beast Lord, I had to get the new one.
Yeah, this one's really nice. Again, nicely animated. Really does sort of like he's barking the orders and that there. Yeah.
So he's going to be in the army when we go up there, leading the line.
And this one's also a nice model as well.
Yeah, so again, I actually got him one of the last times we went out to Warhammer World. They had a sort of section of last chance to buy on there. It's a fine cast. Yeah. This was an old named character from Warhammer Fantasy Battles. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Put it in the description below, guys, if you can remember what the name of this guy is, because we've been sat here thinking about it. What the hell's name was this guy?
But he is one of the old ones, and again, he's going to be my other Shaman. So when I said I was using Gashrak from the Despoiler Skate as one of my Shamans, he's going to be the other Shaman. Again, just add that little bit of character into the army.
Yeah, definitely. Really, really nice. And again, some quite tough models there as well, backed up obviously with the Shamans and their lords.
And as we said, like with the ambush, technically I can have my whole army start off table in ambush. So again, you imagine these guys who've got little chaff units going around, just to take the punishment to begin with.
So up next then we have the cavalry arm of the army, and it looks like some very classic models in here, Jamie.
Yeah, very classic, very old models, but you know, as we said before, they stand the test of time. So at the front we've got the Chaos Warhounds.
Yeah, a couple of those, and have a look at these. Yeah.
So these are just like little guys just to chill out, do some little jobs, bit of screens, being a bit of a nuisance.
Yeah, yeah. Again, fine cast. Now all this is fine cast.
They're plastic.
They're plastic, aren't they? Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, sorry to tell you, yeah, they are plastic. Yeah.
They're the only plastic ones.
Yeah, really nice.
So they've actually given them a second wound.
Are they?
Game. Yeah. So they'll be around a little bit longer. They're still only a 6-up save, but you know they're doing the job.
Yeah, really nice. Over the back here, then, Jay, what's these then?
So these are the Centigors. So again, as you said, very classic models. Those are fine cast now, with their drunken revelry.
Yeah. So I used to have that when I used to play them and that in the old 6th edition Warhammer Fantasy. Really nice. Yeah, like you said, I mean, as fine cast models, they have come out okay. You know,
they're just a pain in the neck to build, and sometimes even painting as well can be a bit of a pain on fine cast. I found. But
and this is the old classic Chariot.
Tuskgor Chariot. Again, just say a classic model. You can't have a fantasy army without a chariot in it.
But my old Beastman army I used to have 7 chariots when I had in it.
Yeah, well, I'm not like that, let's be honest. Also, I don't want to build up 7 fine cast chariots.
No, that was in the day when they were metal and with the plastic Tuskgors and that.
I think I'd probably prefer that.
Yeah.
But yes, these are just like the little light cavalry elements. And as I said, you can't leave home with a fantasy army without a chariot in it.
No, exactly. You've got to have a chariot in there. It's classic sort of iconic.
Orcs and goblins, chariots. Chaos, chariots. You've got to have a chariot somewhere.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. So here we are then, Jamie. We're getting into the meats of the bones of the army, as they say. Some of the bigger stuff and that. So what have we got here then, on the left here?
So this is a Cockatrice. He's certainly a weird model, and that's why I like it and I wanted to get it. So he's definitely going to be on the table up there. He's not actually classified as a monster in the game. He's actually just a troop unit.
Oh, right.
Because he doesn't...
I like the ribs in that there. Yeah, sorry.
He doesn't have 10 or more wounds. So he doesn't have a degrading profile, so he's not a monster. Which means he can't do monster actions, but he does his own little tricksy things. And again, it plays into those sort of tricks before.
Yeah. And these, Jamie, what are these?
So these are the Bullgors. So these are just the big meaty guys in the army, ready to do some smashing.
Yeah, these are really cool. Again, lovely definitions in that, in the mouldings and that. Again, plastic models.
Yeah, plastic models. As we said before, these are old models, but they stand the test of time.
Yeah, really good. Like I said, lots of detail on that in the.
I might get some more of them. I'm not sure yet. And as the banner bearer. So what we said with the Gors and with that one, as you saw all the patterns on it, that was all freehand.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a shame they don't do the transfers anymore, so you've got to do it all freehand and that. But yeah, it's really good. I really love that. Really sharp details and sharp lines and that on there. And the rooms on there are really, really cool. And this is one of my old models from my old Beast army.
Yep. The Dragon Ogre Shaggoth.
But it's just been rebased to put on to the AOS size base.
Yeah, so you said you were going to get rid of it, and I thought, yeah, but we really like that model. And you had 3 of them, didn't you?
I had 3 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Or sort of painting them at really sort of, I say this one was sort of painted at more for Khorne-ish look to it. One was Tzeentch look to it, and one was just a generic.
Well, it was Nurgly, because it was green.
Yeah, green, yeah. That's it, Nurgly, yeah.
But I thought, no, you got to keep one. You love that model. And he thought, all right. And then obviously I started the army and appropriated it, as you do.
Yeah.
So he won't actually be in the game, but I really wanted to keep him as a model because he just benefits Dragon Ogres, which I haven't got any yet.
Yeah, it's still the old metal model. You can still the weight of that is.
But I think that's better than the Finecast because they do it in Finecast now.
Drop it on your toe, you know it.
Yeah, exactly. But again, I like having the model with a bit of weight to it, when you're moving it around.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It doesn't get knocked over while you're playing.
No, exactly. And last but by no means least, the really big boys.
Yeah, the best bits of the army. So, as I said before, I got those 2 start collecting sets from back then. You had one of these in each of them.
I couldn't believe that we had them in the start collecting
set. You got
set.
them, you got 10 Bestigors, 10 Ungors, and a Shaman. And it was like 50 quid.
Yeah.
Well, spot on. I'll have 2 of them. That'll do.
Sign me up.
And that was retail price.
Yeah.
As in RRP.
Yeah.
So
discount stores.
Discount stores. Got
We got ours from obviously Entoyment down in Poole there. But yeah. So yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah, so it saved so much money. You basically ended up buying what would be the price of that, and you got all your infantry for free.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into it then. What have we got in the centre? Because I really do like this model also.
So, as I said in a previous section, that the Wildfire Taurus is one of the models that got me into building the army. This was the other one, the Herdstone, the Factions terrain piece. It's just such a cool concept.
That's something I actually do like. I mean, sort of jumping in a bit there, mate. But yeah, the armies having their own faction terrain. Just give that little bit of flavour and character.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact is, they don't cost any points. They don't cost you anything to stake it. So why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
As you said with your ogres, you've got the Moorpot.
Yeah.
But again, it's just something a bit different.
So a little fire in the back there, keep it all going, keep it all burning.
Now, he's not exactly the same as what he was in the last book, where I could just sacrifice my Ungors to start bringing out more of these. Oh,
don't go there.
We played a game down in Entoyment once, wasn't it? You pretty much killed my army twice over, but it didn't matter. They kept coming, they kept coming.
So, on the right here then, mate, what's this one with that big rock?
This is the Cygor. So, he's more of like a commanding one, I would say. He's not really like a massive beat stick in melee. He can throw the rock, though.
I like the ivy on the top.
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. So, the rock, he obviously can throw it. It's going to work if it hits you.
I bet it.
But his main thing is consuming endless spells.
Oh, okay.
So in AOS, a lot of the monsters have their own unique monster actions. There's a general set of table and their unique ones.
The bell.
Yeah, big bell. Again, wouldn't want that ringing in your ear. But so his one is he can consume an endless spell. So obviously I'm not going to consume my own ones, but any of my opponent's ones. But I just love the model. And now I know in the game, any Beastmen players are going to be looking at it going, well, why didn't you do 2 Gorgons? They're a lot better. I don't care about that.
No,
I want one of each.
Yeah, I like the fact you've got one of each and that. You know, again, something a little bit different. They play a little bit different. We don't play competitively anyway, but yeah, really, really cool.
But saying that, I did make sure one of them was a Gorgon.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Now this guy, he's got 4 arms. He's just a melee machine.
Yeah,
he can munch through a lot of stuff. But again, a lot of it was airbrushed on the flesh.
Yeah.
And once you've done that, you've done a good chunk of the model.
Exactly, to pick out a few highlights and that with normal paints. I guess, and then I say with some of the contrast and that, using the normal paints to pick out a highlight, or the opposite way, using the contrast as a wash. So again, we've said many times on our live shows and that contrast is good, and obviously the speed
it's a tool in the toolbox.
It's a tool in the toolbox, and it's got many different usage. This one's got the bell and that around his neck. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, and it has again the tongue on there. Really nice. Yes, it's got many uses, and I think it's just finding the niche how it works for you. How it works for you.
Yeah,
you want to
example. I wouldn't use it straight if I was doing like power armor. I wouldn't use it straight. If you do it on top of a Zenithil highlight and airbrush it, it can work.
Yeah, definitely. But also with a bit of medium.
Yeah, but doing it straight is not going to work as well. But as I said, that the Cygor consuming endless spells. And the Ghorgon is just a melee machine.
Yeah.
He just and what he can do, a little funny thing, he can eat the enemy's models.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
He just eats them. As long as you roll higher than what their wounds characteristic is, he just eats them and then heals that many wounds.
Yeah.
So if you start damaging him, he'll just start eating you.
That's a beat stick, isn't it?
Yeah, I might have to get another one. Yeah, screw the Cygor, get another one in. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, but there we are, guys. That is the army. That is Jamie's Beasts of Chaos army. It's a fantastic army, and as I say, learning it and that, what we're doing in that in the moment, playing some games and that with it, it does play really, really well, especially for our play styles.
Yeah, and all in all, I would say, obviously the points are always changing, but this is about 2,500 to 3,000 points.
I was just going to ask you what was the points. Yeah,
roughly. And what we're taking up there, you'll see at least 80 to 90% of this army will be on the table when we go up there.
Crikey. My ogre army is quite small compared to that.
And they can get eaten.
Yeah, okay. But like I said, there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed sort of seeing this showcase of the Beast of Chaos and that. If you can remember the name of that character that we've shown, the Shaman, we've shown the special character, get it in the description below. Because we're whacking our brains trying to think which one it was. And but yeah, get it in the description below and let us know. And coming soon, there'll be more showcases to come of our, obviously, the armies we're taking out to Warhammer World. But really pleased we've got this one done out of the way. We can now sort of focusing back on some of our other projects, some historical projects coming up. So keep an eye on the channel for that. And until next time, guys, hope you're all staying safe. Really enjoying your projects. Until next time, happy wargaming.